All right, the Bitcoin Spot ETF was approved. If you guys remember a video I made about a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I talked about what would happen, and it happened. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, I just understand things, and I've been in the market for a while. They approved the Bitcoin Spot ETF. We ripped up, and what happened? We fell afterwards, and I expect us to remain flat at best. I don't expect us to go up much. Maybe we could come dance around the 47, 48 range, toy with breaking that high, and then come back down. And it's going to be the same story, just like, where was the last halving? Let's pull up a chart here. Let me go ahead and edit my settings. Bear with me. We're going to go to a monthly chart. I got TD Ameritrade pulled up. Here's the last halving. Right here. And after the before the halving, I mean, we were dropping ferociously and dancing around, didn't do much. But when that selling ended, was cut in half from the miners, who are now rewarded half, so they have half to sell when they have to sell to cover electricity costs, and there's half to sell because the reward isn't higher, and their mining rigs aren't making money, and they're shutting the mining rigs off, ending most of the selling. And then on top of that, buyers coming in, selling dropping, the spread gets wide, and we go parabolic, just like that. Halving was in May over here. We didn't do anything for a month and a half, and we even actually went lower. But look at us riding that EMA. What a nice setup with these EMAs opening up over here, and we just never stopped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight months up. We went up for 6 months. So we had the halving. We were around 9K, and we went to 60K. Now, if I sold there, I wouldn't care if it went higher. If you try to time it to the cent, it's never happening, and then you're holding it, hoping it'll come up, and it never does, blah, blah, blah. And then also, if you just hold it forever thinking it's going to go up forever, yeah, it'll go up forever, but you could have more. I could have sold it for 60K. Been in cash, then bought, like let's say I had one Bitcoin at 9K and it went up to 60K, right? And then I exit and I have 60K in buying power and it's at like 15 and some change, right? 15, 30, 45, 60. I can now buy 4 Bitcoin. No, I'm not ever going to hold this long term. It's midterm. I believe in Bitcoin long term. And everyone who's hated it has been wrong. They've been babbling about how it's nonsense. It's almost been out for 20 years. You know, and you people who are bashing it have missed out on so much money. You should be upset at yourself. No, what are you talking to me for? You should sit yourself down and shame yourself on what horrible this on your atrocious ability to identify an opportunity. You hate money, basically. So, now, what I expect to happen here, if we go over to a weekly chart, let's go over to a weekly chart. You know, it's funny, the harmonic predicted it. It's a shame I wasn't watching this. I was expecting us to go lower. Just like last time, I wasn't watching it. You know, because I take my crypto hat off. After the halving's over, it's like, all right, we're going down, right? Take my crypto hat. I actually shorted it, not with a lot of money, but it was what, you know, I had leftover some change in an account, Prime XBT, and I went short on Bitcoin. I didn't log in for like a year and a half, and I made a little bit of money. I only had like $60 in there. I went with half leverage, right? What I had in there plus a 0.5, pretty much when it was tanking somewhere in here. I can't remember where. I'd made some money. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'll toy around with a couple $100, go short on it. If it blows, it gets blown, because I'm going to make a lot of money this round. But we have a harmonic, right, calling the entry here. And this was price target 1, price target 2. 3 is up here at 76K. Now, we could hit this range. We could have trouble here, which is the last high. And we could also have trouble here, too, after we hit this. And it could pull back, but then what about after that? We could also exceed it again. So if once we're getting near, you know, we're going to easily pass the last high, but once we get around 76K, according to the TA and the harmonic, I will be taking some profits there, not a lot. You know, possibly 1/10, possibly 2/10, something like that. Maybe a quarter. I highly doubt it. So I'm going to scale out of alts run last. So I'll be starting to scale out other things first, and then I got to move that money. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that money. I got to keep it moving, right? And in my opinion, it's going to be gold, because that's I expect gold to go on a massive bull run if you look at the candle on the monthly. So now that the Bitcoin Spot ETF is approved, again, I expect money to come in, because think about it. What is a company going to do? Are they going to download Coinbase? Are they going to have some entity, something, an entity or someone, a person, know how to get their cryptocurrency that's in cold storage, who can just dart it off to another country and vanish, right? They can have it. When have you heard anyone being like, oh, they stole my QQQ stock? Like, that's not a thing. We can have it in a broker now. It's SPIC insured up to 500,000, which isn't going to do much if you're putting $1 billion in, right? But look at the fees on what Coinbase. You know, you're gonna is Apple going to download Cash App, you know, or Kraken and buy Bitcoin? Look what happened to FTX. Right now it's legit. We can have it on here. Let's take a look at these ETFs. GFBTC. What a terrible name. Let's go over to a 1 minute. She just opened and drilled straight down. That happens to most ETFs. It almost looks like an IPO, to be honest, because that's pretty much not its real price. It's pricing. It's kind of pricing its real price in. Actually, what am I saying? Now that I'm thinking of an IPO, this is tracking Bitcoin. Bitcoin popped when all this happened with the buying. But anyways, I take back what I just said there. I caught myself. So then we got. I don't like that. You know, first off, guys, I built a position. I'm building a position in this. I bought a little bit. I'm toying around. I have like 10 shares. I don't like the price. I like the management fees. If you look at Kathy Woods, oh my gosh, the management fee. What is it, like 2.5%? Don't quote me. It's somewhere above 2. That's stupid. I'm not doing that. Which one is going to have the most volume? I suspect it's going to Fidelity's. This one won't be bad. ARCs, yeah, I guess so, just because it's ARC, and that's all young people know. But I expect IBIT to have good volume when they write options. So I'm pretty sure BlackRock owns Invesco, I think. No, they own iShares. BlackRock owns I. Don't quote me. But I expect BlackRock's to do well and have. What I'm looking for is low management fees. That's BlackRock's and Fidelity's. Number one. Number two, inexpensive. So now that knocks off Fidelity, and I got this one. $26. I can buy 100 shares to sell covered calls when they come out with options for $2,600, right? Then we got, yeah, and I'm looking for volume on the ETF, as well as I want liquid options. I want options that have a very tight spread, lots of volume, and open interest. Can I have that on some like wisdom trees? I highly doubt that. You know, I don't think I've ever traded an option on anything to do with wisdom tree. And it's like, you know, once you get in, you can't get out. You buy it and they're like, what, there's a buyer here? Oh my gosh, you can have this, buddy. I'm out of here. And then once you buy, you're like, all right, well, I want to get out now. And it's like crickets. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got a bad fill. It was worth $300 and I had to fill at $500. And now there's a buyer at $1. You know, that's like Wisdom Tree's options. They have some wild funds, high management, and they have some high yielding stuff too. I've spent hours of my life looking on, what's that, M1 Finance, great for researching dividends, dividend ETFs, funds, and equities. And I've been all over Wisdom Tree stuff when I was younger, before I really knew what was out there across every market. Now I know everything, so I know the best places to put my money. But anyway, if you guys know anything better, high yielding stock with a low management fee, or fund by Wisdom Tree, you can leave it in the comments below. So I'm expecting, again, guys, everything to take a dive, run flat at best, not a big dive, but I expect us to drop quite a bit. And I don't expect anything to happen until the halving. And keep in mind, I don't care about the spot ETF approval. That's not why I was in this. I wasn't in this for that. I was in it for the halving and the interest rate cuts. That isn't happening. Halving isn't happening till April. We're halfway through. Well, it's basically, I think the 20th, 21st of April. So we can just tack those 8 days off of where we are in January and claim we're 4 months out. It's got some time, and I don't expect us to just rip until then. But again, this halving, now that institutions can buy, now that people are SPIC insured, because a lot of the older people, they look at news articles and they're like, whoa, some guy got his account hacked. I don't want anything to do with that, They're not on top of it. They haven't been around for all the apps. They don't have the ability and time. They haven't been spending the time on everything. I've been on all of them. I lived on it. I literally had no life in 2016 and 2017. This is what got me into trading. I knew all the apps. I called, if you guys are in my group, right? I'm just using this as an example because I'm on top of everything. I called Celsius to go down. I was like, Celsius is going down. Voyager sends their crypto off to Celsius, and then they're kind of like a middleman. Get out. And I have it in the group. I got out like 3 days prior, and I was like, everyone in there, anything but Nexo, it's going to go down. Liquidate. Get out. BlackRock, get out. Or not BlackRock, BlockFi, get out. I said it to one of my buddies that I'm always talking to in my DMs, Chutron. I said, get out. And he did. He liquidated. He's like, out. And it was about a month later, and they went down. They all went down. I think Jim and I had issues as well. You know what didn't? I also called for one of them to shine and hold. That was Nexo. They had a lot of insurance. A lot of insurance. They're a great one. They're not in the U.S. anymore. Those were lending apps. But then there was other crypto app. FTX fell. A lot of them got hacked. There was wild stuff going on. So these older people, when they read this, they don't want anything to do with it. Not realizing that you can get it on Coinbase, and no one's had their money, stolen off there unless it was a personal mistake and, someone in front of you in your circle got on your phone or something like that. But anyways, then you didn't have 2 auth on. There may be ways around that. But regardless, there's a lot of money that's going to be coming in. You can safely buy it now on your broker. We have interest rate cuts. We have a halving coming. We have the Saudi fund trying to buy some. The Qataris trying to buy some. And that could double the market cap just with one of those groups of people buying. Then institutions buying. That could double the market cap. And look at all the money sitting in money markets. What is it? 7 trillion in all these money market accounts because they're paying so high on all these brokerages. Vanguard, Schwab, Fidelity. Fidelity has a boatload of money on the sidelines of people who have money in their money markets, including me. So a lot of money could be allocated, and then we got the retail investors. Not the new retail investors who've been waiting for this, but the OGs like me and you all who are watching this on YouTube, who've been in crypto, who are veterans for a long time. So I'm expecting, to take my profits, some of them around the 76, about a quarter of them, and I'm going to hold on to alts because alts lag, and when alts go, they really go, and I'm going to be taking those off left and right, and again, allocating my money to gold from what it looks like, as long as that hasn't ran too hard. So I expect gold to go on a massive bull run from now until 2030, 2028, somewhere around there. If you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more.